Okay, sounds good.
All right. So let me share my screen. I got something prepared here. So, all right. So Tanya, how she closed a 37,000 commission deal within 15 days of generating corporate leads. So I love to have some stats here, and that's gonna give us all some insights here, right? So statistics in terms of those 15 days, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Tanya. But our first ad was launched January 9th, right? Um, Closed the first corporate lead on January 24th, right? While this is not what we like to advertise, and we know that corporate deal takes a long time normally, right? It's always a good feeling when someone is able to take action that quick. So that was awesome. 37,000.2 in commission, with a total spent of $650 on paid advertising, which is
Yeah.
awesome, which is crazy, right? So that's 26 leads for an average of $25 per lead, which is pretty much amazing there. Return on ad spend so far 57x. Obviously, that's not going to carry on, right? Maybe it will. But
What are you
that's
talking
not
about, Joey?
exactly. We'll let the time tell us, right? And just also before we get in all of the other 26 leads, any other potential people that you talk there that could be good candidates? Yeah. How many
Do
people?
I actually I do. So I actually have one case where I have two major pieces of business. One is a critical illness for I think he's paying $1,000 a month, and then the other one is $30,000 in premium, and that's definitely going to be a go. I've got another one scheduled for the first of or sorry, the second week of February, just because of my schedule, unfortunately. That is a business owner with two corporations. She's now started a hold co.
Okay.
And then I have another gentleman. We just tossed out the quote last night. That one is 22,000 per year in premium, the
Mm.
client. So again, another corporate policy. And then we'll look at doing a critical illness policy for him, split dollar ownership for him as well.
Mm.
So yes,
That's
that was
good.
all in that short period of time. It was
That's
very
crazy.
quickly. So
That's
pretty
crazy.
excited.
I love Reggie's smile here, just like he closed the deal as well. You guys are that power duo. I like that. Awesome. Very good. Very good. Well, all right. Well, look, what I want to do is really kind of dig into maybe what you were doing before that, right? Kind of your
Sure.
background, which company, which MGA you're with, where are you located as well, and I guess we'll start with that. So, what were you doing before that, and what's a bit of your background in terms of in the insurance space specifically?
Okay. So I'm an independent broker. I've been an independent broker for about 5 years. Before that, I was under a couple different MGAs. But I found independent is just for me the best system.
Okay.
So my MGA is PPI Solutions. I've been there for this is my fifth year, and that was 3 years before. Not independent. Anyway,
Okay.
so this is my fifth year going in. I run a fairly large practice. As soon as I hit independent, I took off running. My story is not a normal one, so I always tell new brokers whenever they send them to me to come chat, don't think that this is going to be normal to you because it's not. I took off running. My biggest structure and how I set up my business was I was not going to be that broker that um hit my or wanted to speak with family and friends and this list, and that was not going to be me. So I
So I
decided to have a holistic approach to this, and I wanted to do completely how do I say it, non face to face. So what I did was I set up a whole entire system that allowed me to work from home. I do run a farm. I do live on a small farm, 27 acres, so I am quite busy. I'm an avid horse person, as you guys all know, Joey, Reggie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm busy. And so that was my main focus, was how was I going to tailor this so that I wasn't, having a list and bothering family and friends. I didn't want to start that. So I did set up a system that enabled me to reach out to cold calls through the cold market. And from there, it just took right off. I grew very, very fast. So I run today a fairly large practice. So thankful for you guys, especially Reggie. This is just icing on my cake. This is great. I have in the past have done several lead programs before. They've been very, very expensive. So this is just a golden nugget. This is the golden ticket here, as they say, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's very good. And what were you doing before you came into this program, right? So you were prospecting, cold calling your stuff. Did you have a lot of corporate clients before, or where did you get
I
into
do.
that?
Yeah, I had a handful already. So, because like I said, I grew very fast and I did a lead program anyways, I would get a mixed bag and I would always capitalize on the corporate clients and any of the larger clients that came in. I landed quite a few deals through there. One of them was a $2.5 million move, and I still have another 3 million still to move for him. So then I had a large farm. Turned out it was supposed to be a $9 million farm and a corporate plan for an $18 million farm. Again, it was all through lead program. So, I was watching some of your little videos when we first started, and you're saying, call those leads, call those leads. I'm telling you, call those leads. If you don't know what's in there, it's a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's call the leads, do the cold calling. So yeah, that's what I've done. I've done lead programs before, and it's definitely that cold market. So
Mm.
yeah.
And why didn't you choose stay with the other lead programs, right? What motivated you to try something else?
I always like to try different things. I always like to try different systems, what's going to work better. Cost for sure is a big factor, right? Keeping the cost down, but effectiveness too. So as soon as I met Reggie, it just clicked right away. I'm like, this is it. And we set it up and a few bumps on the road, but we were off running. It was just nothing. So the first, because I'd started on your other side, the life insurance side.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know this is life insurance, but this is the
Yeah.
corporate
Propel
side, I guess.
prospecting. Yeah, the program
Yeah.
for life. Yeah.
Yeah, I started that, and I mean, I think in a week I just landed 7K, just easy, and I thought, perfect. I hardly spent anything, and I said to Reggie, done, next. He's like, okay, you need to move over. We need
Yes,
to try
sir.
something different. So,
Awesome.
I really liked it because, and I love, I've used Lead Connect before. Your system on moving things around, that so appeals to me. Seeing the dashboard, the opportunities, what I have in the pipeline, who have I called, who I haven't called, that is excellent for me. I really enjoy the setup. So I've
Mm.
had them before, just not set up and that detailed. So this is perfect for me. I like keeping track of everything
Mm,
that
that's
way.
very good. No, that's very good. And I definitely want to jump into that specific $37,000 commission deal and see how did you break it down and stuff like that, and kind of see your approach from A to Z. I think it's gonna be really powerful for everyone. But just before that, you say that you had a couple bumps in the road once you started, right? So I want to make sure that if probably some people here, everything when you start is definitely not perfect, right? So what was
No.
those bump in the road? And how did you feel when you first got started with those corporate leads, right?
The bumps on the road a little bit were the calendars, just little picky things like that, things that I feel that should be set up. But everybody's different. Every system's
Yep.
different. So once we got those going, I remember having a conversation with Reggie, and I'm like, all right, like I've done corporate a little bit, but this is not my wheelhouse. And
Yeah.
Reggie's kind of like, well, it is now.
Yes.
Get there. Um, so one of the things is with this particular lead that came in, um, he had already just had settled a large policy with a particular company
Mm.
over in Edmonton, a large company, and he wasn't happy with it. So that's one thing. I really try to do is to listen to the clients. Always listen to what they're saying. Not what I think should happen, but first and foremost, clear schedule, clear everything, and actually listen to what they're saying. That's my first step in my whole process, the
Mm.
system,
That's very
for
good. All
sure.
right, perfect. So Reggie was a savior into fixing those little kinks there,
Yes.
and then that you can do your thing, right? So that all you got to do is just focus on receiving the
Yeah.
leads, following up, and just do your closing. That's it. The rest is
Yeah.
handled by
Wash,
Reggie. Yeah.
rinse, repeat. It's pretty straightforward,
Very
for
good.
sure.
Very good. Perfect. Now, the 37,000 commission deal, right? So what happened there? You got the lead on, right? Did they book an appointment by itself? Did you have to call him? And then what happened? How many calls did it take? What's the A to Z process from getting that person from a stranger to having them sign with you?
Okay. So my A to Z process usually is this person happened to book with me. So again, he booked and said what his issue was he had some concerns about what he just recently signed up. So I listened to him. I always take notes. So my biggest thing is at the top of my page, I always put what is their concerns, what is their issues. Um, that's my main thing. So then he sent me over the pieces, and when I looked at it right away, I knew it wasn't a fit. I knew from the retained earnings, I knew from what the corporation was bringing in per year that this was way oversold. Somebody had oversold this, and this was not safe, for lack of better words, for this particular client, for this situation, this corporation. So then after that, I shared with him, my thoughts and concerns. That was the second phone call. As soon as I saw it come over, I said, we need a call. He said, okay, call me right away. So I did. And I said, listen, and I shared with him all my list of concerns that I wrote down. I said, I'm going to pull another set of eyes on this. So just bear with me. Let me have one more set of eyes. He said, no problem. And then he said, listen, he said, I kind of wondered that because I said, I think this was oversold. He said, I believe that too. He said, I don't know enough. This isn't what I do. This isn't,
Mm-hmm.
my job. So,
Yeah.
I took it to, like I have a full case specialist team assigned to me specifically within my MGA. So I took it to him, the head guy, gentleman, and I had him look at it too. We both agreed completely exactly what I suspected. He made a really nice recommendation. I went over to the carrier. So by the third call, we had already sent over a brand new illustration within budget. Um, and that was it. He phoned me back and said, can I have a meeting at 2 o'clock? I was not prepped that day. I said, absolutely,
Mm.
whatever it takes. So called in carrier, 2 o'clock, we set that meeting, and I did 2 applications the next morning. Early morning, I started to get that done. So had them signed, sent in. Now they're in, well, they're not even in underwriting. We're just getting the rest of it done because he had already just literally had underwriting. So we don't even need the medicals. He's already been approved standard non-smoker.
So that was fairly quick. So everything happened really
Yes.
quickly because you were
Yeah.
able to spot something that was really unusual. And do you think that's
Yeah.
because, how did you spot that? Is it because other deals that you've done in the past, or what triggered that
Yeah.
urgency? Because at the end of the day, you created
Experience.
urgency, right? You created urgency that he needs to do it, right? That's why he was able to do it
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. It's experience, first of all. And I know what the client's getting into. I've had a lot of oversold policies land on my desk in the past years. So I know what it looks like, and I know what's coming down the pipe for them. And when they first started policy like that, like, time is of essence. And I always tell the client, we need to move this. We need to, look at different options. And I always leave it, Joey, in their court. I don't,
Yeah.
I always try not to be that person to do it, right? Shove it
Yeah,
down their
yeah,
throats. I don't do that. But I always try to make it that this is not a fit. This carries risk, too much risk for what you're looking for. So yeah, I always try to put it, time is of essence. And the other thing is too, when a client comes in, this is one of my biggest, secrets, I want to say. I always do better. When they come in and they have something, you do better. You do better, whether it be premium, product, I don't care. You try to do better for that client. And if you can't do better, you leave it and you walk away. Most people
Mm,
say, well, it's money on the table. Your integrity is everything in this industry. It's huge. Leave it. Tell them it's a good product. I've done it a lot. I walked away from a lot of deals because it was a good product and I don't want to mess with that. And you know what? They've come back with me, whether it be money moves, whether it be something else. I've still won at the end of the day. So that is one of my biggest trade secrets. Do better. Always
mm.
do better for them.
Mm. And like, experience aside, right? How could you be able to, do you have a framework that, all right, that's how you spot the leaks
Okay.
in the case? Do you have any frameworks or techniques with that?
I do. So when I was a new broker, and saying a broker, you are brokering for 18, 21 different companies. And I love it because every company has their own twist. Sure, we got a par policy, but we always have their own flair on it. Every broker knows that. There's always a twist on it. Um, I always go to the brokers, to the carriers, sorry, and I always have them look at it. What can you do? This is what we got to do better. I always them for the challenge and kind of hold those people that are supposed to be on my team. I hold, I guess, for lack of better words, their feet to the fire. Do better, because I can't know everything. I've been at it now long enough that I know kind of certain twists and things on per company because I've done it so much. But that's one of the things I always do. I might see potential hole, but I will go to a carrier and I always challenge them, do better. And they know me for that. That's what they know. As soon as I
Mm,
pick up the phone, call or email, they know that I'm coming with them with something. And I expect we're going
mm.
to do better for this client, offer them something different, a fresh option.
That's beautiful. So always looking to, all right, what can you get as much information as possible from the client, from
That's right.
what they need, and then with all the carriers that's available to you, right? What can you find that the other agent maybe did not look into or did not ask the proper questions that you can go into
Right.
it, do better. That's where you win the deal, right?
And
Mm.
Joey,
Absolutely.
just to
Yes.
clear up for people too, when you say carrier, Tanya, you mean like the product providers. You would send them
Yes,
what they have and you say, hey, come up with something better, right? Can
that's
you
right.
come up with something better? So you engage the product providers for
I
them to
do.
come up with a solution that they will explain to you to bring to the client.
That's
Mm,
right. I
Okay,
do.
just so that it's important for the listeners that we were recording.
mm,
Yeah,
They need to
I
understand
always
that you can
do.
engage the product providers. Exactly.
Yeah.
mm,
And I feel like because everybody's got a product providers on their team, like I have several, right? I think I broker, like I said, for 18, 20 of them. Um, and because those product providers want to do business with you, I have them broach me all the time. They fly them up here for lunches. They fly them all around to come see me.
mm,
I show up to Calgary, Edmonton, they have a list. They want me to come see them. They want to go for lunch, dinners, whatever. So I always put that challenge out there to them. That's their job. They know this stuff inside and out, like the back of their hands, and that's what they're trained to do. Whereas coming in as a broker, I know the gist of it, but not everybody's, twist. And sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. I will find something brand new and I'll be like, this is great. So I'm always learning, always, always learning,
mm.
which I think
That's
is really important
Yeah, it's working. And
as
what
a
Sylvain
broker.
said, right? Make them earn their paycheck as well, right? It's not
That's
only
right.
you're the closer, right? But they
That's
got
right.
something to do into that. So no, that's very good. That's very good. And now in terms of approaches, right? So that particular plan, you were able to spot the loop, right? And just go right into it, right? But I imagine not all of them will be like that because I think that's one of the major uh, kind of issue when someone has a lot of good potential people coming their way, but it drags for a long time. It drags for a lot of weeks, right? So now you're saying that with the 25 leads you received, you already got a couple cases that you could potentially do business with. That how do you make sure you can add that urgency or that so that that person can take action right now, or is that even something you're looking for? Um, to make sure you can get that as quick as possible or make sure that gets done basically.
So when I go to work for them, I right away, I guess I'm not sure how to explain that, so bear with me. When I go to work for a client, I'm going to work for a client, and I'll say, okay, your case is up next. We are full time on this. Let's go. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
got a team on this. Full attention to this. This is what we're doing. Um, Take it or leave it type thing, for lack of better words. Not that I have that attitude with them, but I guess, yeah, like I don't want to say it's urgency, but I guess it's maybe my mindset, Joey. I'm not sure if that's, and I guess maybe I portray that to the clients too. Like
Yeah.
the one particular case I'm thinking about, um, I spoke to him a couple days ago. We launched the quotation, and I expect we will close that business by Friday. We'll have an answer. Um, yeah, that's really difficult because I don't really look for that. I just expect when
Mm-hmm.
I go to work for you, I'm going to work for you. We are going to work. We're I'm working on this. This is what you've come to me with. And you can kind of again listen to your clients and you can read people. You know who the tire kickers are. You know who's serious. You know who the tire kickers are. Listen, if you're listening, you know. And
Mm.
so I take the serious people. And I think that's why I close so quickly. And it's kind of funny. I'm just thinking now, even in my early days, I had to learn who the tire kickers were and who was ready to work. And I quickly learned that, picked up very quickly on that. So yeah, I think that would be my answer is I just have that expectation that we're going to work, we're going to get this done. That's the way it is.
That's
And
a
Tanya,
recurring theme. That's a recurring theme that
Yes,
we've seen.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this has happened for me since even before Fandaco. Like it's just the way I work. So
Mm. Yeah.
I don't want
Sylvain,
yeah,
to
go.
put, yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so, but it's just like, see if, because you were hesitating on looking for the words. Would you say you set expectations with the client from the get-go of what's the
yeah,
process is clear. It's so clear that this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to process, and we should get that done by that date, right? So
that's right.
if is it that what's going on so that therefore it's a set expectation so no one's wandering around when's the next appointment. We all know
That's
this
right.
is the process, and because I feel that that's probably how you're working. I just want you to confirm these are the missing words, basically. That
Yeah, I believe you're right. Like it is an expectation. I guess that is an expectation that I set. And I think that's why I'm able to weed out the tire kickers because I know, they're not, I just know. I don't know how I know. I just know. Maybe from what they say or how they conduct themselves during the initial meeting. But usually most people that come in are ready to do something. They've got a problem. We've addressed that issue. They want to go to work. They want me to work for them. They want me to show up and go and find a solution for them. So yeah, I guess so. That there's an expectation, and I've never questioned. It's funny you're making me think today, Joey, because I've never ever really thought about that, and it's been something that I've never had an issue with. So it's my previous, like my MGA has broached me about this. Like, well, how do you do this? I've just never really put thought into it until today. So I guess it's an expectation that I hold that when I'm going to work, we're going to work and we're going to work fast. The other thing is time for myself. I don't have a lot of time during my days and my schedules. Ask Reggie, trying to get a meeting, even just the two of us. So when I set schedules, we only have a small window of time to book because I'm usually really booked up. So, and I'm very honest and open with the clients. I only have these days. This is it. This is all we get,
Mm. That's good.
and
And then
they're good with that.
that's definitely a recurring theme that we've seen for all of our successful clients too with corporate. Is like when you're so busy, you don't even have to fake it. You don't have to fake it that you're busy. You have to fake it that,
Mhm.
hey, like I don't need your money, right? You need me. Like you need me to help you, and that's what I got. So you either take it or you go with someone else. So the reason I'm so busy is because there's a lot of people that needs me, right? And I think that you can feel that, right? You can feel that. You set the frame, you set the expectations, and then the rest is just it's just history when it happens, right?
Yes,
Mm.
yes, yeah. Running a calendar is tough, um, because of the farm and because of the other equine activities that I do and things. I have to adhere pretty strict to those calendars throughout the week. Like, I have two different calendars that I run, and I'm always cross-referencing them all the time for many different reasons. So
Yeah.
when it comes to clients, I'm pretty strict. I show up for myself on that standard. I hold myself to that standard that those dates and those calendars, that it just has to be that way. That calendar has to be set in place.
Mm.
Otherwise, we
No,
won't get appointments or meetings.
no, that's so true. That's so true. And by the way, guys, for all the people here, if you got some question in mind that you want to ask to Tanya, we're gonna have a couple 10, 15 minutes at the end. If you want to just keep that in mind, note them down. I just got a couple more questions for you, Tanya, and then we can go ahead with those questions. Make sure you got some ready. But the last couple of things I want to ask is like, you might have touched that in the last questions I asked, but maybe you can really pinpoint this in terms of your unique approach. Like, what do you believe you did differently compared to maybe others that had similar leads? Because everyone has the same system, everyone has the same. They don't have the same lead, but they have the same bait, right? When they're fishing, right? So they all the same quality, as we all like to say. So why do you think maybe other people can struggle on closing them that quickly, compared to you, for example, that already with 25 days out all of those, out of that potential business and probably 10x already what you did and not even the first month, right? So what do you think is that thing that you did differently?
Probably my approach sometimes to clients is different. My personality, we're all each individuals. So definitely sometimes my personality might be, people resonate. I seem to resonate with people. I'm a people person. Um, because um, I'm just trying to think of it, some more answers here, Joey. I think because of, again, like when I broached him again, um, it's that expectation that I set with them. And I don't want to reiterate, but I think that's it too. Like,
Yeah, the frame.
um, yeah, there's just the whole
Mm,
framework, but I'm really good at reading people. And so listening is key. And I want to really stress that because I know even just from past brokers that I've worked with, listening is not people's fortes. It's
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
difficult for them to listen and to really listen and hone in to those key points. So I think maybe sometimes it's my approach. Maybe I hone in on those key points sooner, but that may also come with experience and time too, because I've
Mm,
done this for so long. But I know just very early in my career, listening was number one point
mm,
right out the door. The other thing is to, I always assure the clients because I run a fairly large practice. This is the number one thing that I hear all the time. I haven't heard from the broker. I haven't heard from the broker. I was sold this and I haven't heard from the broker. I always assure the clients, you will always hear from me or my assistant. You will always be in my practice once a year. We will reach out to you no matter what, whether it doesn't matter if you even have an issue. So I always try to share them right on the very first conversation. So I think sometimes maybe it's the way I engage with the clients that I'm able to
yeah.
close fairly quick.
That's very good. No, that's very good. So, no, that's awesome. And then now, like you tasted those first couple of weeks, right? So what's coming up for you? What are your
Oh
plans
boy.
for the next, let's say the next 3 to 6 months, right? Because you got a lot of we just started the year, right? So I don't know if that shifted some of your plans or if that was according to plan. So I don't know. What's the plan for Tanya for the next 6 to 12 months?
I'd like to, we've got some goals set. I'd like to try some other products with Mondaco. I think I broached Reggie when I first started with it. So I'd like to try a few other things, but I'm pretty excited about this. Definitely corporate. I'm going to stay on this side of the fence. I told Reggie, why are we even questioning it? Of course I'm supposed to stay. There was a conversation like, okay, well, what do I do after this? I'm like, well, that's silly. Like, you're staying. Duh. So, um, that's pretty excited. So I'm hoping to make a permanent home here, camp right down, hunker down, bunker down, and get to work. As far as what's in store, I really am enjoying the corporate side so far, and I really want to continue to pursue this as heavy as I can. I love a good challenge, Joey, and I think this is just really given me a challenge that I'm hoping I'm going to step up to even more. And um, Reggie had showed me the income, so it's a chart, and you so much ad spend and so much ad spend, and I was just wow, I can do this.
Yeah.
So just seeing how much you can make within a month, and I thought, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. So I think my first goal for the month, what was it, Reggie? 20,000? Is that what we said? I don't have my notes in front of me, but wasn't it like
Yeah,
20,000 or something?
you had said 20. If you could make 20,
Just to
you'd be all
try
good.
it. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Very good. Now look at you. All right, very good. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, would really just to build upon that initial success and make it a recurring thing, like close 2 to 3 of those deals, and what is it, the 100K per month? Do you feel like
Okay.
you can get that this year? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think that's more than attainable. Um, Focusing. So I hired an assistant just recently. Again, I just looked at my business structure and I thought I'm going to need an extra set of hands in the background so I can focus more on the front.
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing to getting him ready and getting him to help me so that I can do this, focus even more, zone in, hone in on the clients and the leads. So
That's very
yeah,
good, right? Pure focus. That's what we need with those. And at that level, you need to get away from everything else that prevents you from just following up with your leads, right? And just being on some calls at that point, and on some good calls, some high ticket calls, right? That's
yeah,
different than just life insurance policies for moms and dads. Like it's another level, right? If you can spend your time just on that, the money will come, right?
for sure.
So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And just the last question I got here, and then we can go with the Q&A, is what final advices or suggestions you would have for other agents here in the program, or just people that maybe consider joining a program like this. So what pieces of advice you would have or suggestions for them?
Oh, really work with Reggie, what's your title? CRM?
CSM, CSM, client
CSM?
CSM.
success manager.
There we go. Really work with your CSM. Like really hone in on those goals. I think that's so important because I was a little bit lost until I had some pretty hard hearts with Reggie there and needed to kind of just, okay, this is the goals and set these goals. And I'm like, oh boy, I don't know. Some of these don't seem attainable, but Reggie's like, yes, they are. So really hone in on that support. That's what I think was a game changer for me, those conversations with
Mm.
the CSM. For sure. Like that would be my first piece of advice. Really hone in.
That's very good. That's awesome. That's awesome, Tanya. Well, thank you so much for being so
Oh,
transparent,
thank
so
you.
honest, and I think it made you think as well on a lot of
I
stuff.
did.
So that's beautiful to see. So, Reggie, I want to have your take on that, because you work with quite a lot of clients as well. What is your point of view out of Tanya's early success? Why do you think she was able to get that quick with this, and why you're not worried with for the future? What makes Tanya different, you would say?
Well, first of all, congrats again, Tanya.
Thank you.
But the first thing is, uh, regardless of her level of success that she already has, she was extremely teachable. She wanted to learn. She was like, she understood right away that this system, even regardless of past experiences, that this is new for her. And so even in the beginning, she didn't even feel like she could actually do it. She was like, "Oh, this is not in my wheelhouse" and stuff like that. So, but just like seeing the success that she had on the PP level, to me, it was evident that she can actually take this to the next level. And so being teachable and being open, it just made the job easy. So I just knew, like I knew for a fact that as long as she has volume, she's gonna crush it. So way more to come.
Let's go. Let's go. Very good. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. Any one of you that has any questions for Tanya, be specific on what's happening on your side. Any leads, any cases that you have currently going on, or any just pieces of advice that you would like Tanya to just go on. That's why we're here, and anyone can jump in at this point. So
I've got a couple of questions.
yeah.
Tanya, you mentioned that you go to the providers. So are you actually going to their wholesalers, or do you go to somebody beyond the wholesalers to come back with a
Um,
better plan or a better concept?
I usually go into the wholesalers, but it depends on I wouldn't say it's the wholesalers. So like I'm assigned through my region, right? But because I do like I'm on a different level. So I'm not like a new broker coming in. So I have like select wholesalers that are assigned to me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
like almost like I don't want to say VIP, but it's just for higher producing brokers. So because of that, I have select wholesalers that I work hand in hand with and um, have pretty much year two. So they know me very well. So we have that relationship established. It's not like it's a brand new wholesaler. They know me and they know me very well for. And we get the odd one. Of course, people change, people go, they change careers, or so I'll get a new wholesaler too. And that's but I always try to really establish a solid relationship and they know what I'm about. So yeah,
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
out here on the East Coast, so we have some very good wholesalers with a couple of very good companies, and then we have a good company with a terrible wholesaler.
Right.
Uh, and
Yes.
what happens often out here in Atlantic Canada is we're sort of the afterthought of the business out here because everything, you're working with speed. I know that if I push people out here that fast, they're gone. Now, when I'm dealing with my Ontario clients, you push them with speed and it works. But out here, if you start to push on them, they back right off, which is odd to me, but they do it. So we're an afterthought out here. And with one of the companies, I'm considered VIP. So I pick up the phone and I'm getting a call back within minutes. But there's a couple of other carriers out here that are good companies for what we do, but their wholesalers, their team isn't that good.
That's right. So I've had cases like that as well, where the wholesaler's like, mm-mm. And I know it's like, you're not going to be here for long. But regardless, I still have a job to do. So I will structure from one of the teams, because I know enough again, and I'm sure you do too in experience. I will structure something and I will take the wholesaler out of it. So I'll actually go to my MGA and have especially a team that I'm assigned to that signs for me. I will have them look it over, and then we will structure it ourselves with that product provider, with not the good wholesaler. So we will cut them right out of it, just because we want to use that particular product, right? We know it's a good product. Why are we not going to use it just because the wholesaler's not up to par? So I try to go around. My biggest thing is, and I don't know if I say it all the time, there's so many ways to skin a cat. Say with my clients, I say it all the time, there's so many ways to do things. So I will actually dance around if I'm not in, I find that this person is not up to standard, not doing their job, or just not on the same page as we are, especially when it comes to clients or listening. I will go around them and I'll go another way. We'll still use that company because for whatever reason, that product provider might have something we really, really need for that particular client, whatever it might be. So I will go around, I will find a way, and I will cut them out. Oftentimes too, we've had these conversations in my years of work. They will come back and say, above the wholesaler will come back and say, what's going on? Why aren't you using our wholesalers? So I'll tell them. I'm very honest, maybe a little too honest sometimes, but I find honesty is the best policy here. I have a job to do and I need to do it well.
Yeah. That's good.
Thank you.
That's very good. That's very good. Any other questions? Let's go.
Okay, well, nobody's got questions. I'll keep asking.
Go ahead.
So I don't have any leads yet. We haven't turned it on. There's been a number of things that we're working on. And plus I was going on a mini vacation. But what ads are working best so far?
No worry, Dan.
You know
Got
what?
you for this one.
I was like, I have no idea.
Got you, Dan. Don't worry about it. I got you.
My CSM's right here on the screen.
I got you, Dan. I got you, man. We're good. See you on Thursday, my man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I have a big number planned for this year. At least I believe it's a big number. So
Very good.
I'm looking for all of the right shortcuts.
Let's go. We have the right place, Dan. That's good. That's good. Sylvain, did you have any insights or any final questions before we wrap things up with Tanya?
No, I've asked them as we go and clarify stuff for the audience. But maybe one thing, like Tanya, if you have one tip, like for all the people that are doing corporate ads and they're thinking like, hey, like, what would be that one thing? I know there's a bunch of them, right? But if you'd say, hey, this would be like 40% of your results. Like, what would be that one thing?
Hone in on what the problem is. So every business is different and every corporate person is different. Every business owner is different. They are going to come in with concern. They always do. Every business owner is going to have a concern. I have concerns and I'm a business owner. I own other businesses as well. I'm concerned. I'm concerned a lot. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what keeps them up at night. Your job is to find out. And sometimes they might not even know it. So ask those questions, ask those hard questions, like really dig in and really get in there and help them sort out what's going on. Um, I really think that would be my number one piece of advice. Find
Mm,
out what the problem is and get a solution and get a solution right away.
that's very good. That's very good. That's awesome. Well, all right. One done with here. Let's wrap it up here. Tanya, that was amazing. Thank you so much again for sharing all of that, and looking
Thank you.
forward to see more of those wins coming in with all of the other cases that you're saying that is on the table right now. Reggie's gonna make sure that he keeps you accountable to that. Make sure that you can tell us what happened there, and hopefully someone else can come here as well and share their success, their wins that Tanya also can learn from them. So that's the whole goal of this mastermind, make sure that we can all benefit, contribute, and receive some value. So again, thank you so much, Tanya. And
Thank you.